Elara was born with sight, but by the age of 8, a rare illness slowly drew a curtain across her world. By 16, she lived in darkness. At first, she fought against it. The silence of colors, the loss of sunsets, the faces of her parents fading into memory. Yet, what terrified her most wasn't the darkness itself, but the fear of being forever dependent, forever fragile. When she turned 21, her family decided she was ready for something new. They took her to a guide dog training center. That's where she met Sol, a golden retriever whose name matched his spirit. Sol had eyes like liquid amber, a gait full of quiet confidence, and a way of resting his head on her lap that said, "I see for both of us." At first, Elara was afraid to trust. She had stumbled so many times before, both physically and emotionally. But Sol was patient. He guided her gently along sidewalks, waited at crossings, and nudged her forward when she hesitated. When Elara cried out of frustration, Sol would curl at her feet, steady and still, reminding her she wasn't alone. Over months, they became inseparable. With Sol, Elara rediscovered freedom. She walked the busy streets of her city, found her way to the library, and even began volunteering at a music school for children. Her cane had been a tool. Sol became her partner. But their bond wasn't just practical. It was love, though not the kind sung in songs of roses and rings. It was a love deeper, quieter, like the steady beat of a heart. At night, Elara would sit by her window with her guitar and play soft melodies. Sol would rest beside her, ears twitching at every note, tail tapping the floor in rhythm. In those moments, Elara didn't feel blind. She felt seen through the devotion in Sol's every breath. There came a day when Elara joined a small concert, her first time performing in front of strangers since losing her sight. She trembled before stepping onto the stage, but Sol brushed against her leg, grounding her. Together, they walked forward. Her fingers found the strings, and as she played, Sol lay quietly at her feet, radiating the courage she needed. The applause that followed felt like sunlight breaking through clouds. And in the silence after, she bent down, buried her face in Sol's fur, and whispered, "You are my eyes, my heart, my freedom." Years passed, and their bond only deepened. Elara sometimes wondered what Sol saw: the blooming jacaranda trees, the children playing in fountains, the men and women who smiled at her as she passed. But she realized it didn't matter. Through Sol, she had learned that love isn't about sight. It's about trust, presence, and the gentle certainty that someone will never leave your side. And so, the blind girl and her walk dog lived their story. A story not of pity, but of beauty. A story where light returned, not through her eyes, but through her heart. Sparkle's moral: love comes in many forms. Sometimes, it isn't a person who saves you, but a faithful companion who teaches you how to live again.